Baruch Hashem, concluding another 5 minutes of tefillah a day, concluding another beautiful week, as we discuss this type of tefillah called Chilui, Vayechal, Moishe B'nei Hashem Elikav. In the past few days, we've been understanding how we could Ki'ilu Kaviyachal argue with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that there are tefillahs that every time we see the word Elokai, my God, what are we invoking? We're invoking that Hashem is all, everything is Him, but He's mine. So Hashem, how can you not take care of me? Tefillahs with power, tefillahs with passion. And yesterday at the end we began, which is the next ice over here, which is Rabbinkis continues and explains that when we daven in two different mannerisms. Either we daven Baruch Atah Hashem, Hashtah Hu Atah Hashem Elokeinu, second person, Hashem, you are our God, or Hamaitzi Lechem Min Haaretz, He who brings forth the bread from the ground. Sometimes it's more direct, and sometimes it's in the third person. So Shearim Bingus explains right now, and this is an idea that we've really touched upon, but as you go through this sefer and you learn about different aspects of tefillah, he always brings this idea back in. And he says, Hinei vadai, she'ikr toikef atfilah. What is the main toikef, power, force of tefillah? Hu ma sheyesh ba, it's that your tefillahs have Bitoy, the expression, shel hidabrut pishuta, a regular conversation, between man and his creator. Like the Mesilas Yesharim teaches us, that when we daven to Hashem, it's like a person talking ish el re'ehu. He says that this type of talking to Hashem, the conversation, which if it rings a little bit of a bell, it's because in the very beginning of the Sefer he used a very similar terminology. That what is tefillah? Tefillah is talking. Tefillah is having a conversation with Hashem. But says the Shearim Binkus, this brings dveikutz asuma b'payel, incredible connection, v'tainug nifla, and a wonderful enjoyment of kedusha. As he continues, kayadua l'chol mi shezach le'ispalel, like anyone who had the merit to daven even one time, tefillah amitos u'shleima, a complete and full tefillah, kitinuk ben yaimai, like a little child. Like a child who turns to his father, his mother, and can just talk at ease. No blockages, no barriers, no qualms, no anything. That's the toikev atfilah. That's the force of a tefillah. That's the beauty of a tefillah. So what does that have to do with what we're talking right now? Because as we're describing the different ways we could talk to Hashem, we could almost argue with Hashem like a child. We'll argue with a parent. And we could explain how we really need something, and we're really deserving, and please, Elokai, Elikim Sheli. And we could get into this mannerism, this beautiful type of tefillah, Tinuk ben Yoimai. But there's a problem. The problem is, says Shearim Binkus, through such an incredible type of tefillah, Shoichach hu sheyesh ba b'tefillah mahalchim shel darchei shamayim. One could forget that he's talking to God. And Hashem has ways which are nistarim, v'ne'elamim, and they're hidden. And we can't forget that Hashem is all great, and there are rules to the game, he says. And he says that unfortunately, and he calls them the young Bali Avaida, that sometimes they get into tefillah and these type of mannerisms, and they think, what's the difference if I daven with a minyan? What's the difference if I daven at the right time? Does it really make a difference if I daven in shul? I'm talking with Hashem. If I'm talking with Hashem, does it make any difference to this? And someone says, what do you mean? The Gemara says the power of davening b'tzibur, and he says that these people respond, Nach, that's for people who don't daven like me. That's for people who don't have such an incredible connection to Hashem. But I talk to Hashem, that I'm at this incredible lofty level, the rules don't necessarily apply to me. And says Shearim Binkus, this is a tayot nora'ah, this is a terrible, terrible mistake, which he says could bring terrible calamities. That in as much as we have to come to the level of tefillah, that we could talk to Hashem, and we could talk with a beauty and with an ease like a child talking to a parent, we can never forget the rules, the Shulchan Aruch, which contain everything within, whether it's the Zmanim, whether it's the power of tefillah b'tzibur, whether it's the koyach of a tefillah in a shul. We can never forget the rules, even as we bolster the incredible power and beauty of that toikev tefillah, of that Tinuk ben Yoimei talking face to face with HaKadosh Baruch Hu.